Hello again. It's been a while again. Had a really busy couple of weeks, but I'm back in the garage again. I've already been working, but I didn't film it because you would have been watching the same thing twice. So I got all excited about that penetrating epoxy thing, and so then I put it on and then realized that it was cold weather penetrating epoxy that I had and was not supposed to be applying it when it was 85-90 degrees in the shop. So I wiped that off quick, gave it time to clean up, sanded it off a little bit, tried again, ordered the warm weather penetrating epoxy, mixed it up again, tried again, like a doofus, was not paying attention, and mixed it 1-to-1 instead of 2-to-1, and it didn't penetrate. It all just floated on top of the board and left this very squeaky, sticky layer on the surface. More like a bar top epoxy than a penetrating epoxy, which I don't want on a fretboard. So then I spent all day today sanding that back, getting that out of the way, and of course then I had to restain it, and I restained it. I don't think it looks as good as it did when I first stained it, which kind of pisses me off, but anyway, restained it, redid the penetrating epoxy for the second time with the right mixture this time, 2-to-1. But looking at it, it still doesn't look like it's penetrating all that much, and I think it may be because I sanded the fretboard up to such a high grit before I applied it. It's all a learning process. It's just frustrating when it doesn't go well. So this time I'm hoping it turns out okay. If it doesn't, I don't know. I'm probably going to sand it back again, try to restain it again, and then just spray nitro on the fretboard and the neck like Fender does, and then just trim all the nitro caps off the fret wire once it's dry like Fender does. I know. This is just... I love guitar building when it goes well, and it's frustrating when it fights you. And for the last couple of times I've been in the garage, it's been fighting me. So I've been a little bit flustered with it. But anyway, while that is currently in the curing stage, I can't really do any more with the neck. I really want to, actually, why don't you grab the camera and bring it over there and give them a shot of it. Ouch. You know, the thing that frustrates me here is it was looking really nice the first time I did it, but the second time I did it, I think a little bit of the resin did penetrate, so now my dye job looks a little bit splotchy. I don't know. At some point I'm just going to have to be happy enough with it and let it go, or scrap the whole damn neck and start over, and I am not doing that. So I'm going to just have to be happy with it. It is my guitar. It's not like I'm trying to sell it to somebody else or anything like that. So, but anyway. So next, on the guitar body here, next on the guitar body here, I am gonna drill the pot, because I haven't done that yet. And I've said from the beginning, I am just going to hot rod this thing. It's just going to be one pickup with a volume. There's not going to be any tone or coil split or any of that crap. It's just gonna be, it's either on loud or it's off quiet, and that's it. So volume. Now I do have a fairly large cavity here drilled for it, or routed for it, which is nice. But I still kind of want to have the volume knob where, you know, you'd normally have it on a Les Paul, about right in here, about right off the corner of that. So it's going to be still fairly close to the top part of this. And I think I'm going to start from up here. And go with a smaller bit to begin. Or maybe I'll start from the back with a smaller bit and then come from the top with a bigger bit. That's probably smarter. That way I know I got it where I've got plenty of room to get it in there and get the wiring in there and crap like that. I'm always going to have plenty of room to do extra if I ever decide to do something fun with the wiring on it, but yeah, that's about where I want it. Well, it was right in the other one.
Well, the other one was a fretboard, so.
I don't think that matters. 3/8 inch hole is a 3/8 inch hole. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so. Yeah. Alright. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. There we go. I think I'm going to get the trem cover plate handled. Now I used that crimson template that I had to do the control cavity, and that template is kind of nice because it's an all-in-one template. So it's got the hole, the shelf, and the cover plate all in one. So theoretically I should just be able to put this piece right here. Well, first I gotta untape it, but then I should be able to put this piece right here onto my material here, route around that, and I should have a cavity cover. For anybody who's wondering, this is recycled 3-ply pickguard material that I used on the V that I built for my brother. So I just had that laying around left over from that build, so that'll work perfectly. So first things first, I think we need to get it in place here. I think the easiest way for me to trace around this is going to be to get this in place as close as possible. Why do I need to trace around it? Well, I'm just thinking that sawing it on the bandsaw as close to the item as possible is probably going to be a nicer way of accomplishing this than just plowing through it with the router blade and losing a half-inch of material because I was busy routing instead of sawing first. So I think if I just trace around this first, getting it as close to the edge as I can. Now I can take it to the bandsaw, cut across there first, which will get most of that material free. I can probably still use that for a truss rod cover. And then take it to the router to masking tape, super glue it on, take it to the router and trim the edge. Alright, so bandsaw. If that starts to look like it's blowing in, we got to move the table saw in a little farther. Okay. Now then, got to change the router blade, so pause for Okay, so I had a little bit of a dig with the bevel bit, but I don't think anybody's ever going to notice it, so it looks fine. It'll work. They're looking that closely, I'm wondering why their face is next to my pelvis, because that part is against my body. So, get away. I'm a happily married man! Anyway. Okay, now we also need to do the trim cover. Well, It's darn close. But I think I can use it to start out anyway. I might just have to give it a bit of a sand.
So that worked better and you didn't even have to switch blades again?
Yeah.
Bits?
A little too big though.
That's what she said. Michael.
All right.
Yay!
Should have made an oops dig on that one too, so I could have a thumb cavity for that. Anyway, okay, so let's put them in with the floyd rose, that way they don't get lost. Okay, now we're gonna drill the holes for the ferrules. Just occurred to me it'd probably be prudent to stain these
Why?
so I don't have a little white ring around each one of them.
Oh.
Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When you drill holes for your guitar, going through the body You don't want any thread catch. You want the screw to go just straight through the body, not thread through the body. The back of the neck, however, you want the hole small enough that the wood's not going to split out from the width of the shank of the screw, but that the teeth are going to bite the wood. You want this to be pulling into the wood of the neck and holding it tight to the body. But for the holes in the body, you want the screw to drop straight through. If it threads into the body and threads into the neck, you can run into a situation where if you don't have the neck perfectly tight to the body when you run the screw in, it can cause a small gap in between the body and the neck. When the screw pushes through, it'll actually start to push the two apart a little bit. So this, it should just drop straight through to the neck. This might be one of the best smelling guitars I've built. Sounds weird, but the maple and the ash both just really have very pleasant scents when you're routing them, sawing them, drilling them. Now, you see the screws just kind of drop through the body. That's what you want. Alright, now I think, like I said, I'm gonna just put a little bit of stain in those screw holes a minute so I don't have funny white rings around the ferrules once I get them shoved in there. Brush stroke on the top here.
Doesn't matter if I can see white spots.
Because you're not going to see those once everything's together.
What I'm seeing in the camera is there's one there and one there. got that one.
You're not gonna see that.
Well, then I'm going to see most of that because the ferrule's going to be in there.
The top edge is what I'm worried about. Around the ring. If there's white around the ring, then we have a problem.
Right there.
Okay. So we got the ferrules drilled. Where is that ferrule? Did I put it back?
I think so.
Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of my madness. Click like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.